This is the What's Next podcast, Houston's #1 platform where I invite creatives to share their journeys and give us a depiction of their visions. Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next? Yo. Yes. Yes. Houston, Texas. Welcome back to episode number 59 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. I got a special surprise today. Okay. I don't have anybody who's going to be physically here with me on the podcast, but let me just go ahead and get into it.
Hello?
Yeah. She should be calling back in a second, man. Let me call back, man. Oh, my God.
Yo.
Asia.
What's up?
What's going on? You're live on the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. I haven't even introduced anything yet. I want to come on the telephone, come on the podcast, and do it the right way. What's going on with you?
Nothing, chilling in this corona craze, as I call it.
Yo, so before we get started with the episode, let's introduce our social media handles so we don't disrupt the flow of the conversation when we get to that point.
All right. So I am Ajia Munns on everything. I don't have TikTok, but
You say you don't have TikTok.
I don't have TikTok, and I barely use Snapchat. But on everything else, I'm Ajia Munns. That's AJIA MUNNS.
Okay.
Find me. I like Instagram is my fave, so hit me up.
What about your website?
My website is www.ajiamunns.com.
Okay. All right. And Houston, Texas, as well as Los Angeles, California. Let me apologize for that beeping sound. I tried to disconnect my, what is the thing called in the apartment complexes? Like that little thing.
You mean the smoke detector?
Yeah, I tried to disconnect it because the battery, I didn't know which one it was. So I went to the one in the room and I went to the one in the living room and I can't get it. So that beeping sound is going to be that sound throughout the episode. It's so annoying. So I apologize.
It's so annoying.
Houston, Texas. My name is John Ross Dike I, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at John Ross Dike _visionary. If you would, connect with me on LinkedIn, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my fan page on Facebook, and visit my website at stillvisionary.com. Directly in front of you, I have all my garments. Asia, it's a totally different setup than the one I brought to LA last year, right?
Episode 28, right?
Yeah, episode 28. So
LA
listen,
inspired creativity.
LA inspired creativity. It was a great episode. My first episode in California was with my darling friend Ajia Munns, and my first podcast on the phone is with my darling friend Ajia Munns.
That is me. Yours truly.
No doubt.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, listen, guys, the setup is on the table. During the quarantine, I'm going to make some shirts that say quarantine with Still Visionary Inc. And you can shop Still Visionary Inc. You can shop all my paraphernalia at Still Visionary Inc. or stillvisionary.com/apparel.
Okay. We can get that.
So what's going on?
So, I have been very puzzled by this coronavirus and what to think of it. But what I do know is it got us all in the house. Okay. So, I don't know if everyone listening remembers or, there may be some people new to me. I'm an actress in LA and in pursuit of all of my goals. And in the meantime, I have like these 4 or 5 side jobs, side hustles to help afloat, financially help keep me afloat, like my short films and productions that I do. And they have all said, we're going to say a break right now. They have all said we're on a break. So not fired, but we're all on a break. And so that is crazy to me. But as an artist, I am not like other people like antsy or bored. And because in my opinion, artists know what to do in silence. Artists know what to do when there's nothing to do.
No doubt.
We create.
No doubt. So, so they, because you were the first one, and I was telling everybody this. I was like, my homegirl in California has said that the governor has shut down the state. Is that true?
Yeah, our schools and everything.
Yeah.
Well, we have a curfew. I think a couple of the states have a curfew too. We have a curfew. Schools are shut down. Yeah.
We don't have a curfew yet, but they've extended us to April the 30th. Right.
Oh,
so
really?
we're supposed to be quarantined until April the 30th. And so,
do you think that's a real date? Do you think you can count on that date?
I don't know, but I know one thing. When I recorded episode 58, the night before, I was having like dreams. I was like, man, what if I bring this, coronavirus to the crib? What if I infect myself and infect my wife? And then I was like, I got to figure out something to do so that I can continue the podcast, but I can do it in a safe manner. Right. And so I played, I got the new toy. And so now I'm able to make phone calls. So I think from episode 59 to about the end of April, I'll do phone calls on the podcast.
I mean, let me tell you something. Most people, I'm not the only one because I listen to you, have talked about your consistency and they love that. And you finding a way to still keep it rolling, I'm not surprised. I honor you.
Oh man.
I'm happy for you. I'm honored to know you, and I'm just happy you keeping it going.
But okay. Let me be real. In this time period of being quarantined, I should say, right? Because sometimes, it's cool. It's crazy because, when we did episode number 28, LA inspired creativity in Los Angeles, California, I think every other word in that conversation we had was regarding my son, right?
Yeah.
And I found myself going out to the graveyard more often with this quarantine. So I'm having to do work from home. And so we go from about 8:20 to about 4:05. And, it's unpredictable because you don't know what the kids are going to do, what they're going to say they have accessibility to. So we just got to take it like, listen, I'm going to do all I can to help you out and the rest is on you. And still, I'm going to help you out some more. So if the kids make excuses, it doesn't matter because we want 5% of something better than 100% of nothing. Right. So I've been going out to the graveyard a lot more, but I realize in conversations at the graveyard that I'm selfish. I am selfish. And that's what I need to work on. I'm selfish. I'm selfish to everybody. Most importantly to my wife. I'm selfish to her. And that's what I'm going to work on in the next, I want to say the next month or so, being consistent with thinking about everybody else besides me first. You know what I mean? So
saying no to you for yes to them.
Huh?
Saying you're basically saying you for a little bit you're gonna say no to you and some of the things that you want and desire and goals just to say yes to them for a moment.
Yeah.
Because you've been neglecting them. You feel like.
Yeah, I have. I don't feel like I know I have. So definitely I'm going to. But I mean, of course, the podcast I'm gonna have it up and ready for Tuesdays.
Obviously,
but, instead of thinking about the podcast, let's say 8 days out of the week, I might think about the podcast maybe 3 days out of the week.
That's
you know what I'm
healthy.
saying? And the other 5 go to, more importantly, my wife, 1, and then everybody else that's under her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
listen,
yeah, I think that's great. But wait, let me tell you something.
go ahead.
It's ambition sometimes like can eat us alive. You
Yeah,
know, it's a fine line between all of it, passion, all of it. It's a fine line, and I think during this time, this quarantine time as we're calling it, I do believe that a lot of revelations is going to come from it. You
mm,
know, we have this is the blessing in this. A lot of people are going to have revelations, and they're just going to understand themselves more, hopefully. You know, they get a
yeah,
minute to stop and think and breathe
yeah,
because we are all in this rat race
mm,
and it's not healthy at all.
mm, mm, mm. So listen, when I came out to LA last year, and really,
Mm-hmm.
if the I want everybody to know that if this this pandemic, let me say this pandemic ceases, right? I still
Yeah,
plan on trying to come to LA to podcast. I think I want to make it routine, but I'm glad that I can talk to you now on the podcast this way, and maybe we have more to talk about Labor Day weekend if this pandemic is over, right?
absolutely.
But there's a little bit more
You
structure
still
to
want
the
to do your
podcast.
film too here?
Oh, you know what? I was talking to my man in episode 55 about that. Yes, I do. Right. So I'm in the process right now, Asia, of getting a house, right? Trying to
Yeah.
close the school year off, keeping the podcast going. Right. So if the Lord blesses me with all of that, yes, I definitely want to try to film Carousel in LA. I do. I definitely want to do
Mm-hmm.
that. If you're still
Mm-hmm.
down.
I'm always down. But you know, the next year is gonna come around like
Yeah.
clockwork.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if this is the year you need to focus on your wife and your home and
Mm.
all of that, building a home and all of that, then yeah, another year will come around, and we always have endless opportunities.
I think
Life doesn't say, you know, sucks for you. You didn't do it this year, so can't do it at all. Life don't say that.
no doubt.
We
And
have endless opportunities.
I think the great thing about film like music is if you've never heard the record before,
Timeless.
it's timeless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's something that my
So agree.
homegirl told me in episode number 19, right? So
Yeah.
there's more structure to the podcast, right? I'm curious to know, what should people take from our conversation today in regards to you and your drive and ambition in this episode and the things you're accomplishing in LA? What should people take?
I would love if people, in regards to me, take away from this conversation that nothing can stop your God-given creativity, your God-given motivation, your God-given ambition, bosshood, or just simply how you are in the world and how you want to show up and what you want to do in your goals. Nothing can stop that. Thank you.
Mm,
Not a quarantine, not what the government's doing, not what's happening in the world. You can always find a way. Find a way. So if I want to get my 2 short films done this year and everyone's on quarantine, I can still find a way to get another goal done. Or there's a TV series that I want to pitch. I can start working on that I was going to do after the short films. So I could just say, okay, that's on hold. This is a temporary hold. Get those words, y'all. It's a temporary hold. All right, so that's on the temporary hold. Let me just go for it and jump to the next goal that I didn't think I would be able to get to until after the short films. So let me just do that since I have this quiet time. Let me read this book on film, on lighting, that I never got a chance to, because it's so much to do on a set that I can only do so much myself. But let me take it this time. Oh, let me learn someone else's job.
Yeah.
So I can be well equipped and have the knowledge to speak to everyone around me.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a way to get what you want done in any aspect. So I would love for people to take away that. And then also rest and self-care.
Yeah.
I'm not going hard every single day.
Yeah.
I'm resting too.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with friends and loved ones and stuff too. Also, it's about a balance, like always.
So let me ask you, if you're not going hard every day, how do you feel that affects your end goal? How do you feel that it affects? Because I'm under the belief that, you know, and listen, I don't go hard every day because the thing is this: I could be out in the streets I just got these new cards for the podcast, and I could be out in the street passing these cards and trying to get 5 to 6 new listeners to my podcast every day. But with the quarantine, of course, all of that is halted. All of that is stopped. How do you think that not going hard every day will affect you in the long run, if any?
Well, kind of like what I was saying, that one thing is on temporary hold. That one marketing strategy is temporarily on hold.
Yeah.
But you get an opportunity to think about other marketing strategies that maybe are online, or maybe that you didn't think of before, or maybe all of that, any of that. But let me answer the previous question. How it affects me is I'll be rested for this next quarter. If I'm not going hard every day, and I go so hard in my everyday lifestyle with all these jobs and all the auditions and trying to have a social life and then trying to meditate. I go so hard every single day to where this may be a much needed pause. So then I can go into the next quarter on fire. So I won't overexalt myself. A sprinter can't sprint every day. You need rest. A bodybuilder can't lift weights 24/7. You need rest. You need time to eat. You need time to replenish your body and give yourself permission. I give myself permission to take a break.
Yeah. Houston, Texas, I think that this episode, I think that you would prefer to listen to this episode rather than watch me by myself here in my apartment complex. So we do have that option for you to stream us, the audio version. So shout out to everybody listening to this podcast. We have that option for you to stream this podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Music. So listen, this episode we're gonna get into King. What was the name of your poem? I'm gonna play that because I was waiting for it. I wanted to play and insert that poem into an episode that I did in the new house. But I figured, hey, since we're talking on a podcast today, I mean, why not just put it in this episode? So I want to insert that piece into this poem because I think it was phenomenal. Your poetry game is kind of nice, Aisha.
Yo, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. Creativity comes from experiences, man.
Yes, it does. It does. And
go ahead.
And with Rise Kings, I really when I first wrote the poem, let's start here. When I first wrote the poem, it was 10 pages long. And I was just really trying, it was a stream of consciousness that was just coming out, observation of life, and just speaking about Black life in America, Black people in America. And I observed Black women. And when I was in college, I read that we were the highest group rising in college. And then we were the highest group rising in leadership positions in the workforce. And then I see other articles talking about they count 5th grade little Black boys to see how many prisons they're going to build. So but when I was in college, I seen just as many Black men as I seen Black women. So I'm like, this article says it's one thing, but I see something different, but I don't know what to do with all this information. But what I do know is we're better together.
No doubt.
And if Black women are rising up and are gaining our cultural independence, gaining our financial independence, gaining knowledge and becoming bosses and leaders, creating companies and stuff, I see Black men doing the same thing, but I certainly see an overpopulated number of us in prison, Black men.
Yeah.
So my poem is a call to Black men to rise up and be the kings they are, because we need them. We need y'all. We need y'all to be great. We need you to be a teacher and also a podcaster.
Go ahead.
Okay. The world needs you. Y'all were created for a reason. Okay. So my poem was a call for Black men to rise up.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of the fatherless fathers trying to father.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need fathers. We need men to show up. Yeah. We don't. I was watching Amanda Seals again. Because during this time we've been doing a lot of Netflixing. So I was watching her special on Netflix, and she was talking about the bad choice you can make when intimacy is good. So she said you look and the guy has a mattress on the floor with a line of Jordans around. And that made me think like, okay, so that person needs to hear my poem.
Yeah.
You know, because it's time for us to live an elevated and more conscious way and style of living. And if somebody got to say it, I'll be the one.
Okay, well then let's take a look at it, man. Houston, Texas. My homegirl Ajia Munns, who I've known for over a decade.
Right. Which
over
is
a
crazy.
decade. Who is a professional actress in Los Angeles, California, wrote a poem called Rise Kings. And I want to put it in this episode. You're now watching and listening to episode number 59 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. And this is Rise Kings by Ajia Munns. Peace and blessings.
This poem is not for everyone, but it is for somebody. This world wouldn't exist the same without you. The ancient inventions, the knowledge, the kingdom king, must I remind you to rise, king, rise. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God, and you are God. God is King of kings, of you, king, of you. Rise, king, rise. Speak, king. Your words bring life, not just your sperm. I don't want you to the left calling Tyrone. I want you to rise, king, rise. When is the last time we sung an anthem for you? When is the last time you gave us a reason to? Rise, king, rise. Put to death the passing of rules to a game that dehumanized women for your personal ego and sexual gain. Pass along the keys to life that are living deep within your soul. Rise, king, rise. Black energy surrounds a cry for freedom. You don't cry out for something you already have. I know what they say about you, your ugly, black, scary skin. But your power is rich. Your skin holds a message for this world. So rise, king, rise. You are the master of your being. Put your desires under control. You answer to no one but the almighty king. Rise, king. All the greats were hated. So they were here. You are here. You can do anything any other human has done. Nothing human is alien to you. Rise, king, rise. I see you for who you really are. You're so emotional too. Yes. I see the way you play your video games and watch the football games. It's okay. You're human too. Rise, king, rise. This world is better because you are here. Every room you walk in is better because you showed up. Rise, king, rise. Bleeding hearts through prison bars. It's hard to take. All I can say is, rise, king. When your brothers are being hunted, murdered, and beaten by the KKK posing as a POLICE, tell them to rise, king. When you need a laugh, just to laugh, but ain't shit funny, rise, king. The fatherless fathers trying to father, rise, king. When you have more bills than money, rise, king. When you think God doesn't hear you, look within and rise, king. I praise your victories and vibrations. Rise, king. Strength, power, growth comes after suffering and pain. Be grateful for your trials. They are your teachers. Rise, king. Wake up and know your true history. Rise, king. 5 sweet words play through my ears from a dead king risen by his poem titled, "And Still I Love You." Despite all your flaws, I still love you. And there is no limit to how much you love yourself. So rise, kings, rise.
Houston, Texas. Round of applause. Round of applause for my homie Ajia Munns. Rise, kings, rise, kings.
Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. No doubt. So, yeah, you're quite the poet.
Thank
You're quite the
I
poet.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy I dropped that. It was one of my goals for the year.
Okay.
It's something I had been thinking about for a while.
Okay.
And I'm happy. It's
Okay.
like crazy that I literally, it's an idea and now it's out. I love that.
Yeah. You know, this platform is made for that. And before we move further into the episode, this platform is made for the support of artists, creatives. And that was my whole idea in starting this podcast, right? So you probably can't hear the song, right? But when you go over the episode, when it drops on Tuesday, the 7th, right? When you go over the episode, you hear this song. My homegirl, Demaria Daniels, wrote a record called Boss You Up. She was on episode 56. And I just want to, you know, every chance I get, I want to be able to play it, right?
My mom said to me,
I want to be able to play
one
it
day you should settle down
and just
marry
support
a
her
rich man.
like I know she would
I said,
support
"Mom,
me.
I
You
am a rich
know what I'm
man."
saying?
Absolutely.
Because we need that as creatives, especially in this city. We need the opportunity.
Especially in the world, period.
No doubt. We need people that you know rock with us without having a dollar sign attached to be able to just say, hey, you know what, play my record for me.
Exactly.
So I'm playing it right now.
And I love that. And I love you for that. And I appreciate that. Yeah, but I know I've heard you say that on the podcast. You're like, listen, this is for y'all. This is for creators.
Yeah.
The place for us, by us.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
but anyway, listen, this is what.
Hold on, because it's playing right now. Hold on. I'm going to lower it right quick. Go ahead.
So this is what I was going to tell you that some people are doing during this quarantine time. So I did a short film called Grapefruit, and it's about fake clinics, which is a real thing. Fake clinics are out there. They act like they're abortion clinics, but they're not. They're ran by people that dress in scrubs, but they're just volunteers. And we did a film about it. And since this coronavirus quarantine thing happened, they weren't able to premiere it on the date that was set. So instead, we're going to do a virtual premiere.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're going to invite people to just come and to like some website. Maybe it's Zoom, maybe it's, sorry, excuse my background, I'm gonna close this door. But maybe it's Zoom or whatever the app. They still haven't sent the link out, but when they do, I'll send it out to my people. But they're going to have it and just have people watch the film, and they're going to do a visual premiere online.
Okay. Well, you know, you already know. You already know whenever it drops, you let me know. I'm in there.
I definitely will.
I'm in there.
Will let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. They're doing a visual panel. I'm going to be on the panel also. It's going to be cool.
Okay. And you know what? That's one thing about this pandemic that's going on. People are getting creative, right? My homegirl, shout out to my homegirl, Crystal Beasley. She had a virtual birthday party on the 31st of March. And I'm just like, wow, I'm sitting here and I'm watching how people are not letting the pandemic fully take control of their lives. They're just adapting and adjusting. And I think
exactly. And I think
that's miraculous. I think it's wonderful.
I think so too. I have a DJ friend. She did the same thing.
Yeah.
She had a DJ virtual party.
Did you jump into the live stream that DJ D Nice had the other weekend?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. My wife was in there. It was crazy. It was crazy. He did
See, that's what I like. That's what I'm talking about. We can't let nothing stop us. We just find another way to have fun, to share, to like commune. Like, I love it.
Yeah. This was what was on my mind, man. I've been thinking recently, right? Because I've had a lot of sleepless nights, right? I've had a lot of sleepless nights in this pandemic, and it's all been generated about being successful, right? And I was talking to Demaria in episode 56, and she was saying that she wants this year to be her outbreak year. But one thing that I didn't say to her in that episode that I'm gonna say to you, and I'm gonna internalize myself, because the gems that people give you that they don't know that are gems. Like I sent the episode out to one of these kids that goes to Wall Trip, the school I teach at, right? And he told me, keep pushing, right? And at the time period, I was not feeling depressed, but at the time period, I was like, damn, man, I'm I'm not moving like I want to move. But when he sent me that, it just uplifted my spirits. So what I want to tell to,
I love that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is a kid. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know what I was going through at the moment, but he told me that, and it uplifted my spirits. But I wanted to tell you, like I'm going to tell her in the episode that she comes on to talk about her album, is don't stop, man. You know what I'm saying? Do not stop, because you got people like me, man. Everything that you do, I'm on. I want you to know that. Everything that you do, I'm on. It. Because and the reason why I say that, man, is because you don't know what seeing that like that you give me on every drop on SoundCloud does to my spirit, does to my ego, does to my heart. And I'm just so appreciative because, you know, I was like, man, who is this that's always liking my episodes, right? and as a number, when the numbers don't grow, right? The numbers don't grow. You're just like, man, I'm stagnant. But when you see that constant like, man, it's just like, Jesus, thank you. Thank you. So I want to tell you that don't stop, because you got fans. I'm one of your fans.
Same to you.
No doubt.
I echo what you're saying to me, to you. Like, seriously.
No
like,
doubt.
I'm always going to be the support. And sometimes people are like, damn, like, it's just a like. But that it really does mean stuff.
It does.
It means a lot to a creator.
It does.
You know, that so thank you for saying that. And ditto. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, what happened to the book? I haven't gotten the book yet.
Oh my God, I forgot to send it. I'm gonna send it. Look, I'm forgetting to do that. No, I'm gonna send it. I promise you. I'm gonna send it tomorrow.
No, the reason why I said that is I listened to episode 28 today, right? Because, like I said, I think we were just vibing in that episode. When we meet up again and we do another podcast, it's gonna be so great. I think we were just vibing. It's gonna be so great,
and we were vibing, and it's good. It's just our energy in the room. Yeah. But also, there was two things. I never got to the Denzel story, and I never sent you the book. Because I re-listened to it too. I re-listened to it before the quarantine thing. I was just at work and I was bored, and I was just like, let me listen to it again.
Man, you know, I realized one thing that I neglect to say every episode is that my podcast is a mobile podcast. Hence, I was able to go to Duncanville and Dallas. I was able to go to LA with the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I'm able to move from location to location. But one thing that I made sure I said in the description from episodes 28 to episode 31 was that episodes 28, 29, and 30, you opened up your crib to allow me to record there free of cost. You know what I'm saying? And that means the world, because, man, just getting into spots, people, you know, that's people's businesses, open up venues so that people can use their venues at their pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I want to always make sure that, you know, man, you really held me down with those 3 episodes in LA, man, for real. I was just like, man, I got so much work done because I had one location and I could leave it set up, go home, go back to the spot that I was staying at, and then be there in the morning time to record. So I just greatly appreciate you for that.
No doubt, of course. And that's what happened. When I say I got your back, I got your back, for real.
No doubt. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so what song's on your mind right now?
Oh, I knew you was going to ask me that. I promise you.
Because I was thinking about that question for the podcast, and I don't have a record. I have a record now that you were talking about Rise Kings. I have a record.
Okay.
So you want me to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first, because I promise you, on waiting for you to call me, I was on Apple Music like, well, I need a good song to say.
Listen, so for me, right, in this very moment right now, I'm thinking about Black Star, Talib Kweli, and Mos Def, Knowledge of Self. I'm thinking about that record. And I'm thinking about, you know, I'm going to go a Nas record. I'm going to go, what am I going to go? Let me go with, because episode 28 is almost reaching a year. In August, it'll be a year. I'm going to go Nas, Memory Lane.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So you gave 3. I'm going to give 3. I'm going to go.
I gave 2.
You gave 3.
No, I gave 2. I said Talib Kweli and Mos Def, they formed the group Black Star. Okay. Knowledge Yourself and Nas
Black
Memory
Star.
Line. Yeah.
Black Star Nas. Okay. So you gave 2. I'm going to give 2. I'm going to piggyback off Nas and the duo and do Nas and Damien Marley. Marley.
Here you go.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
Okay, what record again? I'm sorry, I was laughing over what you said.
Leader.
Yeah, this one's for all the leaders. Yeah,
exactly. They, because at a time like this, I salute the leaders. I salute the people that are still the teachers that are still getting online every day and not just saying the hell with it. I salute them.
Yeah.
I salute the people in the community. I salute all of them. The bus drivers, like, come on. The people at grocery stores, they're putting themselves in a line of fire. They really are.
Yeah.
These grocery stores are getting cases of coronavirus now. So, like, it's tough on their salaries, putting their lives, And
what else?
So, yeah. And so what else? So, then I'm going to take it to a spiritual place. A lot of people may not know about them.
Come on.
But they're called Beautiful Chorus. That's the name of it. And they have a song called Inner Peace.
Inner peace.
And the first line is, please give me peace. Inner peace. And just, if y'all need something to touch you, but it's not like Mahalia Jackson touch you, it's a little lighter than that. It ain't Hillsong quite yet, and it ain't religious. It's not religious, but it's just a song. It's just a song, almost an affirmation, almost like an uplifting song that is colorless, denominationalist, whatever. And I love it. It's called Beautiful. The group is Beautiful Chorus, and the song is called Inner Peace. And I think that I needed a time like this because when you were talking about, your moments that you've been having and your sleepless nights, there's been moments I've had, and I'm like thinking to myself, Maya Angelou told me to have 3 months saved for your finances, your rent, all core bills, everything. 3 months saved. Some people say 8 months, but that's for the wealthy. But 3 months.
Facts.
And I don't have that. And I'm 32. And so that's been heavy on my mind. And I'm just like, never again.
You're 32. You just had a birthday. I thought you turned 36.
Are you kidding me?
That's for when you called me 38 last year.
1988. I need all my years. Okay. You're the only old one on this phone.
Oh, well, happy belated. You just had a birthday. Happy belated. Hey, your pictures, I told you make LA look phenomenal. Your pictures were great, man. Happy belated.
I had so much fun. Thank you.
Happy belated. 32, huh?
32 years old.
Yo, so today is I'm about to say February. Today is April the 2nd, 2020, and we have 273 days left in the 2020 year.
That's a whole lot of days.
It is. What do you plan to attain in 273 days?
I really do plan on doing my 2 short films that I wanted to do at least by one by now. But, it's fine. We roll with the punches. It's a temporary pause. And I really also want to take a beat and figure out the way I've been pursuing my career as far as the dollar and the dream, pursuit. I'm going to rethink it. That's and that may not seem like a big thing, but it's a life-changing thing. I can't keep going the way I'm going.
Yeah.
And then with my organization, Woven Colors, we are putting on our 2nd annual short film and just our screening for creators in LA. It's mostly short films, but if you have a music video or, a concept or a trailer, we're open to that as well. But we're putting on our 2nd annual screening, and I'm so excited about that. And that's going to be done before the year's out. That date was set for April as well, that we've had to temporarily pause as well. But that's okay because I don't mind pausing that because I want it to be a success like last year. I mean, last year we was at capacity, press came, it was amazing. And it taught me that people in LA need an outlet and need a place to show their films. We do a short film, we put it in festivals. And if you don't win in festivals, if you don't win the awards, maybe you're 2nd runner up, or maybe you just didn't make it. Where does your film go? And we provide a place where you can just show it. And it's not a festival. It is the screening. because some festivals don't allow you to show your film in multiple festivals because they want to be the first one to say that they premiered it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a screening. And we provide a platform for creators to show other creators, to show other people in the community what you're working on, what you're doing, what you have done. And it's a networking opportunity. And we're very proud of it. So I can't wait to do that this year, too. So,
yeah. You know, what I was going to ask you. Oh, you know what? Of course, I'm one of your biggest fans, right? So I heard the podcast you did with the Lazy Millennial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you had a gem in there that I wrote down that I thought to ask you. How was that podcast? Was that your first phone podcast? How was that? How did that come out?
It actually was my second.
Okay.
She just cold emailed me. The first was a friend of mine who is co-founder of Woven Colors, WC,
Mm-hmm.
we call it. She has her own podcast and she does over the phone. She does it through the Zoom app and she used to do it through Google Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so that was the first. And I've done a couple of hers. But this, the Lazy Millennial podcast, she cold emailed me. She saw an article that was done on me from this online platform website.
Yeah.
And Voyage LA, not Vogue.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, Vogue is coming because I didn't say that by accident. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, Voyage LA, and so she just saw that. I don't know how she just saw the article, and then she just reached out to me, and I'll say yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You had a gym on there. And when I see you again and we do the podcast, I'll make sure that I had that gym, because when you said that, I text you. You know what? Let me look and see if I can find that text. Because I text you when you said that gym, and I was just like, okay, you spitting facts on here. Stop it. You playing with them right now. What's going on?
I remember the text, and I remember you saying that. I can't remember what it was either.
Yeah.
But you can probably pull it up and find it easier in text.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm just like, man.
But it's such a blessing, though, that, what work begets work,
Yeah.
and exposure begets exposure,
Yeah.
This article that was on me, and then now the podcast is done because of the article. I just love when that kind of synchronicity and that kind of, not synchronicity, but that kind of beautiful stuff happens in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna find that text, man, because I don't have all day to look for it. I'm gonna find that text because I thought about listening to that podcast as well today, but I didn't get around to it. Yo, surmise what an LA actress is in 2020. Surmise that. If you could do it in one word, what would you say that an LA actress is in 2020?
Innovative. We can no longer just wait by the phone and wait for an audition anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know, what have you created on your own? Or an agent who represents a lot of people in LA. She is no joke agent. She has her own agency too, a boutique agency, but she represents a lot of people. And I had the opportunity to just sit down with her. I emailed her and I just said, I just want to pick your brain. She told me when she's looking for people, she's no longer just looking for the reel and the headshot.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking for, what have they created? And if they don't create on their own, who have they been around that's creating?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they around the next Issa Rae? Have they been in a film that made it to Sundance? Have they been in a film that made it to Cannes? Have they been in a film that was in this boom on the internet? That's what they also look for now. So we have to be innovative. We can't. We have to reinvent ourselves in the way we put ourselves out. Our digital business card has to be more than just our reel and our headshot.
Yo, damn. Ajia, you dropping gems, man. Yo, man, I'm just so, innovative. Yeah, you have to.
You do.
I think we should name the episode that, Innovative.
I think so too. And she also, on that same tip, she also, and I hate name dropping. I don't know, it makes me feel weird. I live in LA. It's a weird thing. Everybody know everybody, so it's a weird thing to name drop. But anyway, side note, back to my main point though. In our conversation, she told me that she was like, it's great that you do a podcast. She was like, that makes you more marketable. That makes me more interested in you.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, how is that? How's the podcast coming?
Well, you know, I got to get back on it.
Yeah. You know what? Listen, when you got so many irons in the fire, you know what I'm saying? It can get overwhelming, because the one thing I've learned about podcasting is this: when you say you're gonna drop, in the beginning I was so kind of like, I was like, man, you know what? I don't want to say that I drop every Tuesday, right? Because what if there's a chance that I don't drop on Tuesday? Then that would make me look bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
you also don't have seasons, do you? You just drop every Tuesday, period, 24/7.
Yeah, because
you don't have like breaks.
Yeah,
some people have breaks. Some people don't.
Because the podcast that I modeled my podcast after just drops every week, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's no. I mean, this is an episodic thing, but it's not like I don't write a script for the podcast. I'm talking to creatives, and creatives come in different forms, and they don't take breaks. You know what I'm saying? So why would I have seasons when I'm always talking to somebody who's making a lifestyle for themselves? So
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
and now you can just record the phone conversation. So
for sure. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, man. So listen, I want to save the majority of the process of, you know, your nonprofit organization. We haven't gotten into that, but when I see you again, I want to dive into it, because you talked about it a lot on the Lazy Millennial podcast, right? I'll leave you with this. Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next?
What's next is a rebranding of me. What's next is to show people who I am and what I've been doing more. I have not been, and it's not a downer, but I have not been doing a good job at marketing myself. I do so much, and I have so much going on. I'm going to show the world. There's so much like Woven Colors is my nonprofit. And it's just for creators in LA. It's an organization we just put on events, networking events and dope events. I need to start videoing that and showing people that, right? Because it's amazing stuff. And sitting down with the agent that I was privileged to sit down with and just pick her brain, this is what she was talking about. If I had that out there for the world to know, the different things that I do, Black Women's Day of Meditation, all the short films that I do, have little clips on Instagram, all this other stuff, you know? Yeah. She wouldn't have asked me so many questions. She wouldn't have known she would have known more who I was. You know, my digital business card needs to be out more, because I didn't know it was as important as it is. I knew social media was important, but I really am not a social media person. I'm not on there all the time. You know, I'm on and I'm off, but I don't take advantage of it like I should. Yeah. And I have seen that it's fucking important. And people, excuse my language, but people do pay attention. Yeah. At high level, low level, mid level, friends, foes, all of them. Yeah. People pay attention. So I'm going to sort of like innovate myself. Yeah. And put what I do out there more.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. You know, normally I would be giving you the black SVI t-shirt, which appreciate you. You know, I text everybody.
Yes, which I actually need another one, because I do wear mine.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I get you. I got you. And what I'm gonna add to it is the exclusive What's Next podcast t-shirt, which I gotta get you too. So I'm gonna be mailing you those. Text me your address, and I'm gonna mail those to you.
Actually, after you get your book, then you can return.
No doubt.
Because you need to get this book.
No doubt. Listen, Houston, Texas, man, this is one of the first episodes that I'll be doing over the phone, right? I think it's safe so that I can be safe and my guests can be safe. Yeah. Asia, you got anything else?
I just want to tell the people out there, you know, stay creative, be safe, give yourself permission to take a break. It's okay if you have 2 Netflix days in a row where you do nothing and didn't get out of your pajamas. It's okay. Yeah. Because when have you ever done this in your life?
It's serious out here. It's serious.
You have permission to take a break, but you also have permission to be super productive if you want to.
No doubt.
You know?
No doubt. Yo, man, it's always a pleasure.
My pleasure, too.
Talking to you.
I love talking to you any day.
And I can't wait to bring the podcast back to LA so we can sit and vibe again, maybe in a different spot.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. You know what I mean?
Yes, I got you.
Houston, Texas, man. I do what I do for myself to prove that I can do it for others. Ajia, say bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for having me.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
Yo, it feel like 95, Sachi on my body, Biggie, jiggle, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby, and I'm wildin' in my wallies, and them valleys, no Pilates, more weight get you more wet, nah that's these Spumante, my crystal ball, I see crystal, I crystal y'all with that, I saw the sign like Ace of Spades, that Ace of Spades, get cracked me like, cheers to the money guy, the Willie niggas, who buy them bottles, and then they spill these liquors, yo, salute my dude. I see you, dog. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice and naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up.